Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Vault Jersey. Joe Archino back here with your Week 11 NFL picks and starting things right off with the Cincinnati Bengals at home against the Buffalo Bills. And this is definitely one of the more split games that we have this weekend. I think this is really a coin flip in every single way. Of course, for me, I'm going with the Bengals as the home team here. I think having Tyler Eifert back, you already saw him make some big contributions in a losing effort to the Giants on Monday Night Football, but I think nonetheless, having him back in the offense helps them out tremendously. But again, I think it's a close one, but going with the home team, with the Bengals. Then the next game on the slate, you have the New York Giants at home against the Chicago Bears. And four-game winning streak for the Giants right now. They're playing some of their best football, and now they get a very favorable matchup at home against a Bears team that just lacks an identity. I always say when it looks too easy, it always is, and this is one of those games that fits the bill. But I think in this game, with the Giants with so much to prove right now, in a division where every game really means almost everything if they hope to get into the playoffs, this is a game that they have to have, and I think they will have it. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know how many times I keep on saying it, but the Browns are destined to win a game eventually. It's going to happen, but I don't think it happens this weekend. I think they fall to 0-11. It is worth noting, though, that Pittsburgh is always the team that falls in games like this. This is my big thing with Mike Tomlin. It's always the thing where when they should be prepared for a game like this, they'll drop one that they shouldn't. And we've seen that already happen this season. It's why the Steelers sit at 4-5 and don't have a winning record. But the Browns right now are just really, we know what they are. They're just a team desperate in almost every area. I think Pittsburgh, even if it's not pretty, they find a way to win. Then the Baltimore Ravens on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. And look, there's not much you can say about how good Dallas has been. That offensive line can almost cure any ail. I mean, they do it all. And I think the Cowboys at home get another win here. But we're all kind of asking the question, when will someone be able to slow down that line or slow down Ezekiel Elliott? And we haven't seen it happen so far. Once again, I don't think it happens this weekend. Then the Detroit Lions at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have the Lions getting a win here. 95% of people agree with me going with the Lions here. I had hopes for the Jaguars this year. I thought they would definitely take another big step forward, but that step has really not been taken at all, and they sit at 2-7. Matt Stafford has been playing phenomenally well without an offensive line, without a running game. He's doing it all by himself, and he's been sensational. Then a really big AFC South matchup. The Indianapolis Colts at 4-5 against the surging Tennessee Titans at 5-5. Marcus Mariota, I don't know what you can say about him. He has been as good as it gets. I mean, for a young guy like him to be playing as well as he is right now, there is a lot of hope and promise in his future. But right now, the Colts are a team in bitter desperation mode. The head coaching staff there, the GM spot there, is really, they're fighting for their jobs right now. And I think in this one, they've had a little bit of rest. They come back home. They'll find the way to win. But it is never easy with the Colts. Then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. And we always kind of get caught up talking about New England and the Patriots and Dallas. But even when you look at the AFC West, I mean, that's a great division. And the Chiefs are no different. 7-2 they sit at right now. And I have them continuing to surge, going to 8-2. Then the Arizona Cardinals against the Minnesota Vikings. Very tough matchup here. One of the other most difficult ones to pick of the weekend. 62% of people going in on Arizona. Now, Arizona obviously didn't have the sharpest display against San Francisco last weekend, and obviously, to me, I've never been a Carson Palmer guy, and I think at the end of the day, true quarterbacks always come to show you who they are, and I think since the NFC Championship game last season, we have really seen the true Carson Palmer, and he has just not had a great year by any means. But I look at Minnesota. They start the season 5-0. They've lost their last 4 games, and I just don't see it happening. I don't see a team like that's as well coached as they are, dropping 5 games in a row. They're home here. It's not an easy place to play. It's a big travel game for the Cardinals. I think this is one of those games where you got to go with the Vikings. Then this one is another difficult one. The Los Angeles Rams at home against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins here. It's one of those teams where I can't figure them out. I haven't been able to figure them out for a couple seasons now, and it's because they just have so many different levels of inconsistency. The Rams are starting their number one rookie quarterback, Jared Goff. I think we're all kind of excited to get a look at him, but it has not been a pretty season for the Rams at all. The Dolphins, to me, this is just a game where, because of the circumstances the Rams have, they find a way to win. Then the New England Patriots on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. Rob Gronkowski's status still up in the air, but I think largely by now we all know he's probably not going to play. If you're not practicing, you're probably not going to play, and I think largely he will not. The 49ers are at 1-8. They're dropping to 1-9. Then the Philadelphia Eagles, an interesting travel game for them against the Seattle Seahawks. And look, after Seattle went into Foxborough, beat the Patriots, they did. I think we all kind of look at them now with a little bit of a different keen eye. The Eagles, it will be interesting to see how Carson Wentz reacts in this tough environment. Probably the toughest road trip he's had so far in his NFL career, but I think the Seahawks right now are really finding their own at this point in the season, and it's great timing, and they win this one. The Green Bay Packers on the road against the Washington Redskins. The Packers right now are in all sorts of trouble. I mean, you look at there's just a lot of turmoil happening right there. I think the Redskins, to me, are one of those teams at 5-3 where really that's a product of how difficult their division is. Washington has really come together nicely this year, and I have them winning this game at home. Green Bay has not shown me why I should be able to take them in a game like this. Marcus Mariota was able to thrash them. Andrew Luck was able to thrash them, and I don't see any difference why Kirk Cousins won't be able to do the same, and I have the Redskins winning. Monday Night Football in Mexico City, which is kind of interesting. The Oakland Raiders against the Houston Texans. The Texans sit at 6-3, but they're a completely different team on the road than they are at home. Brock Osweiler has not had a pretty season by any means, but on the road and at home, he is a completely different quarterback. And I think Oakland right now is just gaining more and more confidence week by week. To me, they get this win. They go to 8-2, and they beat the Texans. That is going to do it for your Week 11 NFL picks. Jersey Joe Archino here. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Archino and on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino. And I'll catch everybody next week.